up in the north, if some of them are receptive to these groups, it is important that at least we have it at the back of our minds to show that if they are in any manner receptive to these groups, because it starts like that. The third lesson to learn from this is that life is a struggle. Change is not an event, it is a marathon. The Taliban had been at this for close to 20 to 30 years. I'd like to be corrected if I'm wrong. I don't mind. I make mistakes like every human being.
Yeah.
But they've been at it for so long, and at the end of the day, they have now become victorious of whether it's the propriety of whether they should be running the country or not is not the lesson that I'm talking about. But the lesson here is that these things are not an event. They are a marathon, and you must persevere. So, having said all this, the bottom line, the message that I have for my own people here, because when we look at these things, we will almost look at our own interests. There are no this world. There are no friends. There are no foes. There are interests. There are interests, and if you open up, you see, you will lose in the end. If you open up your country in the way of calling other people to come and intervene, going to the United Nations to do some charter of something or protesting in another country and so on and so forth, at the end of the day, you will get virtually nothing, and you just might jolly well be sorry. The other implication also is that the world order has virtually changed. That complete supremacy of the United States.
I was telling someone yesterday that this is a major shift in the world order, and we may not even realize it now until some years later. You see the shift. It's a massive shift that we can't begin to comprehend the implication of it as yet.
And also, because between Iran and Afghanistan and some of these countries like that, you never know what they might combine, what they might put together and want to do. The other lesson, just one more, is for your country, you must vote for a leader who is very strong, but listens to the people and can stand by what his country's interest is. What did Biden say? Biden said he talked about the American interest.
That's right.
He didn't waffle. He said the American interest is important. I cannot continue to have a bottom line. We cannot continue to pump over $1 trillion. We can't continue to pump money in this thing and lose American lines. And he said something that I'd like to hear from a Nigerian leader. He said, I am the president of the United States of America. The buck stops on my table. I hope and love one day Nigeria will have such a leader. Next.
That's right. We're going to stay on page 11 of the Punch. There's a story here that says Amosun signs Abiodun father's condolence register.
I wonder why that made news. The governor of Ogun State lost his dad.
Yeah.
The former governor, Amosun, they had political... You see, we don't... the father of Abiodun died, and he went there to sign the register. And that becomes news, because a lot of us don't know what goes on behind the scenes. People might disagree politically. It doesn't mean they are not friends. You better get that stuck in your head for us, the followers.
And stop killing yourselves.
And stop killing yourselves. We'd also like to condole Governor Abiodun. May the soul of his father rest in peace. We'd like to use this opportunity to remind him that over and above everything, there's poverty in the land and there's COVID. And that leadership calls on him to set a good example. So we would like to call on him not to allow himself to be pushed, not to allow all his advisors push him into some over lavish burial. Like I said, there is COVID and there's this. If I were him, I would say that this burial is going to be, if his father wasn't the governor, he is. This is going to be a very private thing, and it will be for my members only. Or else they will blow it all up in his hands, and he will have himself to blame. That is the kind of advice. Because before you know it now, the spinners will start. The spinners have pushed him into giving the winner of a BBA and whatever a house and some millions. So, Governor Abiodun, I condole with you. I sympathize with you. But this is also an advice. It is not, your father isn't the governor, so state of burial does not arise here. Just make it a family affair because there's COVID. You have to set that very good example. There's COVID to contend with. Over the weekend, I saw some social functions that took place. There was one particular one I was supposed to attend. I didn't see the videos. I didn't see one person wearing a mask. Not one.
Just imagine that.
Not one. But meanwhile, every day you keep hearing of people dying. The reasons are not well stated out. Or he just fell ill briefly. You know, we stigmatize everything. Be careful, everybody. Be absolutely careful. May Pabio so rest in perfect peace.
Now to the Vanguard newspaper. I'm not interested in 2023 presidency. Sanusi.
SLS. The thing, it burst my bubble. It burst my bubble. Because there are a few Nigerians, that I wouldn't hesitate to vote for. Despite their past or whatever, I wouldn't hesitate. I mean, I love Sanusi. I'm not hiding it. I love him. I'd like to see a president who, if at all, for him just to have that charisma, stand up and speak to the world, he gains attention. That's good enough for me. No, but unfortunately, he's not running. And he made it very clear. He said he had always said he wanted to be Emir of Kano, and he got it. He said he had always wanted to be in business, and he became, MD of First Bank. But that this one is not prepared for it, and he doesn't want it. So who wants it? That is now the question. Yep. I can almost tell you clearly now that there is an 80% chance that Vice President Osinbajo is going to run for presidency. The signals are too clear for us to ignore. And I think if he does want to run, or if he's going to run, now is the time, in spite of what my friend Fuad Oki said, that's for the political side.
Yeah.
For us, we are anxious to follow a leader. We are anxious to see a light at the end of the tunnel. And we are anxious that we don't have same. But with the indications, my feelers, and all the underground work that I've done, and so on and so forth, there's an 80% chance that Yemi Osinbajo, professor of law, Jimi Disu's classmate, in Corona, he must be on the CV. I went to primary school and university with him. But there is every indication that Yemi Osinbajo might also run. So it's getting quite interesting. The scenario is getting interesting. But I wish latest by end of October would have an idea of who is running and who is not, and let it start.
Right.
Let's start looking at who is what. Now, please, one more time. Something happened during Buhari's time. I had some people say, you were the one who made us. I'm not making anybody vote for anybody. I'm doing my job and giving my own views. What we do here is to stimulate, and I might tell you my preferences. Your preference, you could look at him from another prison. So this time, I will not take it. Anybody who says after this 2023 that I was one who made him vote, I will sue him. Benny.
Sue him for what?
Defamation of character. But if Osinbajo does run, I think it would be at least, if anything, would up the intellectual ante.
I don't think anything. Honestly, I don't think that we need anybody in this administration in 2023.
That's your feeling. Abajao.
You just shared your own now. I'm sharing my own.
Don't share your own. When I'm at the same distance.
I think we need fresh people from the outside.
Well, yes, but also you also have to think of experience.
No.
You don't want.
People have experience. We have people with experience, people that have been tested.
Like who? Give me an example.
No, it will amount to campaigning.
But I said my own.
It will amount to campaigning.
To amount to campaigning. To amount to campaigning. So what I said, I hope it didn't amount to campaigning.
No.
Then give me somebody who you think might be running. Don't campaign for him. Just mention it.
No, I can't. But at least I have 3.
Let me tell you that I've been diagnosed as having a very bad temper. And I don't know. Abajao. Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's always fun to be with this guy. Okay, let's go to the next story.
Yeah, Vanguard has a story here. Civil war fiercest in Enugu before we captured it.
Yeah, that's not the story. The story that's credited to
Yeah.
IBB. I think today
It's his birthday.
is his 80th birthday, and I wish him happy birthday and a peaceful retirement. As for his as for how I assess him, a senior citizen was even talking to me about 2 days ago for close to 30 minutes about what I thought about his whatever. But I just decided my feelings about his tenure. I'd rather not, put out in the public and just keep them to myself. I'm not in the habit of upsetting myself unduly. History will judge all of us. It's as clear as that. History will judge all of us. I hope that at 80, I'll not be struggling for recognition and clean up. I hope at 80, I'll just be sitting down quietly and not be making a spirited attempt at revamping and so on and so forth. But I wish him a happy birthday. That's the way life is. Some see it as a half glass full. Some see it as a half glass empty. Some see some things as good and some see some things as bad. For me, there are some things that have happened in my past that I'd rather just not bring up again. I'd put it in history and put it behind me and then move forward. People in my age, and even though Nigeria has been very good to us, we have suffered seeing Nigeria change. We have suffered seeing our country, the politics, the ethos, the values. We have suffered seeing it change. And we saw this when we were adults. But that's a story for another day. I was just happy 1 minute ago. Now you brought this one. Okay, let's go.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
I don't want to politic.
Vanguard is here. Vanguard says, Apapa traffic, truck owners protest extortion by police. LASMA.
Who will bail the cat to bring sanity into this area? What else could I say? Who will bail the cat? The governor, Lagos State governor, he huffed and he puffed, but he couldn't blow the house down. The federal government too, the vice president, Professor Shibajo, who I can say might also be running, he huffed and he puffed and he didn't blow the house down. So who is going to help us solve this Apapa? We need somebody with determination. No matter whose ox is God, is ready to dive in. The governor had said he was going to mention names. He was foot stamping that he would mention names and so on and so forth. He never did. And therefore, this problem we have will just not go away. There's a fight on who is calling who up. And it says that extortion sabotaging the economy, of course. But Lagos State government have exonerated themselves. I said, we are not involved in extortion allegation. I don't know whether it's the government or the individuals. But it will be very, very difficult for anybody involved in this process to exonerate himself. I didn't say impossible. I said it will be very, very difficult. All said and done again, history will judge all of us. One of the measurements by which we'll judge so we'll lose success in Lagos is that of traffic. And we will not take excuses because we didn't vote for him to make excuses. So it's up to him. Even the federal government is up to him. Maybe at some point, some of us might jolly well take a sheriff's position, and say we want a complete change, because I don't understand how traffic would hold all of us to ransom. Federal government, local government, Lagos State government, police, importers, and we look at this thing day in, day out, we have excuses. No solution. Ordinary traffic problem. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let me take this comment here. And the reason I want to take this comment is so that we can put things in proper perspective. I think someone got you wrong here. Ayodeji Lewis is his name. He says, JD, your analysis on Afghanistan is completely incorrect. America built the country, established a democratic system, and organized the first election. Do you expect U.S. to stay there in perpetuity? Is that what you said?
No, you already said it now.
Okay.
But, in this job, sometimes the frustrating part is those who misunderstand you, not those who have an opinion on what you said.
Yeah.
The frustrating part is those. I couldn't care less what happened in Afghanistan or whatever. All my analysis was on the implications for Nigeria. And if you look at things from the perspective from which you're talking, I mean, it's your right. But I'm a Nigerian. I'm a patriotic Nigerian. I'm not interested in another country's interest.
Actually,
I'm interested in my country's interest.
I actually even think that what he said has no connection to what you said
At all. It must have been listened to.
So I'm just saying that, you know, people kind of like just have this fixed bias that they can't shake.
I'm used to
so
that.
Even what you don't say, they will say.
They will say you said it. And I'm glad you told me to recant it, because you get a lot of that. If you were going to go by what you see in the social media about what has been said, you won't believe it's the same program you listen to.
Exactly.
But it comes with the terrain.
Yeah, it does.
I'm beginning to support you, Jerry. I think
you're supporting me now.
Yes.
Because we don't need anybody in the government.
We don't. Nah.
Support me now.
I'm supporting you. You're my brother's keeper. That's why when I tell you that I love you, agape will not love, not any risky love or anything. People don't understand. You have my back.
Yes, I do. Always. Let's take this one here. Sit at home, commercial activities grounded in Southeast despite cancellation.
Yes. Now, this one is a difficult one too. Those sitting at home, were they sitting at home from either miscommunication or do they, again, let me repeat, I'm asking rhetorical questions.
Yeah.
Is it from miscommunication or fear, or the fact that they just want to stand with their leader?
I think it's fear.
You think it's fear? Okay. Fear as in FEAR.
Yes.
So just for those who... I also think that a lot of it has to do with fear, not being too sure what will happen if you do come out. But let me tell you immediately, which you cannot dispute, this injures the people economically. A lot of us are on a daily income, whatever, and one day off, we just cannot contemplate. So I'd like to plead with those who are in charge of these things to let people go out and earn their daily bread. There are still other ways by which you can make your feelings known. You can, so many feelings. You can say, okay, everybody should wear a black armband, everybody should do this, but let them go out and earn their daily income. I think it's very, very important. Very, very important. Everybody should wear black. It's a morning day. There's so many other significant things you can do without, but let them go to work, earn their pay. Even civil servants who go to work, it's not the 30 days they are looking at. It's the ones that can remove one bulb to go and sell. If nobody is looking, grab one chair, put it in the boot of the car and go and sell in the open market to eat. Because, in most cases, either they are not paid on time or their salaries cannot get them home. But everybody is on the hustle. Everybody is on the hustle. And a lot of us depend on daily income. And therefore, I would like to plead, that the point has been made. Really, the point has been made. Let people go about their, earning their daily bread. I can imagine some people putting their noses up and saying that it is easy for him. He can say that. No, I'm also on the daily. I'm not an employee. I'm paid per program.
Exactly.
So any day I'm not here, I'm not. We're living by Bani. And just
I work every day, even on Saturdays.
On Saturdays, Baba works. Even on Sunday, I go to preach somewhere. They pay preachers.
Yes, of course. I know. I know.
Oh, one way.
Yes. We're going to squeeze in this one. It's our last story this morning. 2022 budget. FG crashes capital expenditure despite higher earnings.
FG didn't crash capital expenditure. There's no money.
Yeah.
It didn't crash any. This headline. There's no money. There's no money for capital expenditure. And I still maintain that the young people, because we don't have time for us to go into a long whatever it is, but all said and done, we need to do something about our borrowing. We need to be convinced that we will have the capacity to pay back as and when due. That's enough said on that matter.
Indeed. Well, we must go now.
Yes.
Well, let's squeeze in this one here. It's very interesting. FG takes delivery of 698,880 doses of AstraZeneca vaccine. Expect additional 3.9 million doses.
Add that to the 177,000. So what do we say?
J&J. That's
Philip. No, we are not talking about... You have already said you will take the vaccine. We have already... That's about what? But remember that one is Johnson & Johnson.
Yes,
now,
J&J.
We do need to be careful. When you get vaccinated, especially for the first one, please note what it is, whether it's AstraZeneca or Johnson and Johnson. Please note what it is, so that when you go for the second, you are sure of what you are getting. When you go for the, make sure of what you are getting, and please go get yourself vaccinated.
Very important.
We've been able to convince Philip at last.
Finally,
that not only will he also told me this morning I bring his dad along. Yes, it's a combat. It's a combat.
This is nice.
He's a soldier for vaccination.
Indeed. We have recruited him. Please go forth and preach the gospel of vaccination. What's coming out at 9?
Banky W, the new politicians that are coming up.
Banky is coming.
Banky Wellington is coming in at 9.
Okay.
We want to talk about the new politics, the young people.
Okay.
People have all kinds of ideas that young people are this and that. The young will grow old.
Very true.
So whether it's now or whenever it is,
now or later,
it's going to happen. So Banky W will be here at 9.
Interesting. I want to know how he handled the last election.
Yes, we will ask him that. Any other question?
No, that's all.
Okay.
Whether he's going to contest in 2023 again?
Yes. Any other question?
Where is it going?
Where is it going? How?
National Assembly or State Assembly?
Yes. Any other question?
No, that's all. That's all.
Okay.
That's all.
Of course, we'll be here when he's here. So.
Yes, I'll be here. All right then. Jimmy, Banky W, 9 o'clock later this morning. You can watch live on Facebook and on YouTube. Jimmy, thank you for coming.
God bless you, Sheriff.
I'm Sheriff Quadry. Let's take a break, bring you the news, and then we'll talk the PIB. Taiwo Idile of PwC is here, and we'll talk some more about what you need to know. We'll break it down for you at 8 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning, getting set for
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.